All right, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Flow with BK and Speaks. This week we will be recapping the Detroit Lions loss to the Chicago Bears, 28-13, and the Lions just continue to look bad. We need to clean it up. The last four games we haven't looked very good, the last four
Yeah.
games we haven't looked very good. And if we're going to have a shot at winning this division and getting a home playoff game, we got to start cleaning it up.
Yeah, we sure do. I think the first person we need to talk about who's just been a turnover machine the past 4 weeks. I believe he has 10 turnovers now in these past 4 weeks. And before that, he couldn't turn the ball over. Jared Goff, he really needs to, get it together and figure out why he is doing this and be better because it's a bad display he's putting out there as of late.
He needs to clean it up.
Yeah.
We have been turning over the ball way too much. It's putting our defense in a spot where they really can't succeed.
No.
This week, the two interceptions, the one fumbled snap where we turned it over basically on our own 30-yard line. We just can't have it. We need him to be a game manager in order to put our offense in the best spot to succeed. And he's just not doing that right now.
No, it looked like he couldn't throw in the wind. Another big miss opportunity. Trying to get the ball downfield to JMO. Throws it short. I've seen that a handful of times since, JMO's, been in the starting lineup with us. He underthrows him consistently. He needs to get better at that. Maybe take a glove off Goff and try slinging it a little bit because the glove wasn't working for you, and I've never seen the glove work for you. So how about you get your shit together and figure it out because I can't watch any more bad displays of football out of you.
He's always struggled in the cold.
Yes.
It's always been a criticism of Goff. And you're right. When we're talking about that play in particular, Jameson Williams had a step or two, and it's happened a couple times this year where, he's in a spot where he can make that play if the ball's on the money, and Goff hasn't been able to make that throw. So Jameson Williams is catching a lot of criticism from the fan base, but he is doing the right thing in a lot of these circumstances, and he's just not getting the result on the other side with Goff, putting him in a spot where he can make that big play.
No, and that was his one target of the whole game. One target, that should be a crime for JMO. He needs to be way more involved than one target on a pass play. Yeah, they tried running the reverse on the other side that he scored the game before. He still gained 7 yards on that, but we got to target the guy more than one time. Let's free JMO, baby.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. I don't really get it. The guy's only getting 3-4 targets a game at the most. The guy's a bona fide playmaker here. I know he's had to get kind of incorporated into this offense, but the usage needs to go up. We need to get a little bit of juice to this offense, start scoring more points with the way our defense has been playing.
Yeah, especially with St. Brown, getting a majority of the double teams now. Yeah, he is open. He's in single coverage on the outside. So please get JMO the ball. I did like us seeing. I will give Goff props on this. We finally incorporated Donovan People-Jones. That was a dime ball that he got in there for that huge first down in the first half there. I love that play. That was a snipe play that. Great throw by Goff. So I liked seeing that. And then he also had another dime ball to Reynolds for that touchdown. So, there was some good with the bad. But just please stop turning the ball over, Goff. I know you're capable of it. But coming into this year, ending last year, you were, 100 and 200 throws that where you didn't turn the ball over, didn't throw an interception, and now that's all you can seem to do. So, hopefully he can figure it out, and, we pick back up where we're leaving off before this downtrend started.
Yeah, and I think, Goff is going to catch a lot of slack here. He can't turn over the ball. But the other side of this, too, is, he made a great little read and hit Jahmyr Gibbs on that swing pass.
Yeah, and Gibbs dropped it.
Where it looked like Gibbs was going to go for 40 and a touchdown, and Gibbs dropped it. So, he's sometimes not getting the help that he needs there.
No.
But
the
consistency has to, improve here.
Yeah, Gibbs had a drop. Montgomery had 2 drops.
It's like they just can't mesh on the offensive side right now.
And then St. Brown, I've never seen the guy dropped 2 passes in a game. That was his worst performance as a professional I've ever seen. So
I
he'll be
agree.
rip roaring and going ready to go for this next game. But speaking of offensive struggles, so we just mentioned all the drops. The offensive line had a horrific day too, did they not?
Yeah, they couldn't protect
No.
Goff, and that's the other side of it too. I mean, it puts Goff in a spot where he has trouble succeeding because he's a straight pocket passer.
Yeah.
Guy needs to have his feet planted, be able to step into throws. He wasn't able to do that at all this week.
No, especially when you're blindside. With Decker, you get 4 QB pressures this game off of Decker. I mean, you're going to have, Goff doing what he was doing, struggling, throwing interceptions, nervous. If he has time, he's a great quarterback, but he didn't have the time, and it was very evident.
Yeah. But on the positive side a little bit, the running game did look good again.
Yeah.
I mean, both backs did go for 66 yards on 21 rushing attempts.
Yeah.
The problem lied there was the fact that we were trailing for most of the game, that we had to switch the game plan,
exactly,
go to more of a passing offense where we are most comfortable with running the football. We couldn't really control the clock and play our game with running the football with the way that we were turning over the ball and playing, the chase game to try to catch up the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't run the football when the opposing team knows you need to pass the ball. And then when the opposing team knows you need to pass the ball, they're in the right coverages. So, I mean, we were just behind the 8 ball all game. And then we've been losing the turnover battle. And that's never a good sign. And it hasn't been a good sign. And thus why we've been on this little skid we've been on as of late.
Yeah, it's been brutal to watch.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this week, it looks like we have every offensive lineman. The full starting unit has been practicing together this week. So I'm hoping that kind of gets things in order. They can protect Goff better, and we can get this thing back on track for these last 4 games, because we're going to need to win a couple probably to take the division here and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, we got to take care of business. On a bright side on the offense, Laporta, he's still doing his thing. Only tight end in NFL history besides Eagles tight end Keith Jackson in 1988 to produce 50 receptions, 500 receiving yards, and 5 TDs through his first 11 career NFL games. So, Laporta, give you props. Keep doing your thing, my man. Love everything I see out of you. But the other guys, you got to get it together, and hopefully we have a good game plan. We have our offensive line rip-roaring and ready to go. Everyone's healthy. Settles Goff down a little bit. Running game gets implemented, and then, our wide receivers, we get J-Mo more targets, St. Brown back to his normal self. Everything else, I think, will level back out how it's supposed to.
Denver's hot right now, man. They are winning a lot of games.
They are.
Sean Payton's made it vocal that he wants to come in here and run it up on Dan Campbell with their history that they had over in New Orleans on the Saints coaching staff.
Yeah, and you know that MCDC wants to beat his old mentor.
Yeah, there's a little bit of beef there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're going to have to clean things up because Denver's going to come in here. They're battling for their division, too.
Yeah.
This is a must-win for basically both teams here.
It is a must-win, and the scary thing about it is we're going up against – he's not as mobile as he used to be, but Russ still can get up there and move.
He's been playing real strong lately, too. It's going to be interesting to see how the defense is able to contain him because we continue to struggle against mobile quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Fields this week, just every single time we're playing the guy, it seems like he's rushing for 80-plus yards and just tearing us up.
Well, when you think you have him dead in the sand, there was like multiple times Aiden Hutchinson, I thought, had a sack, and then he'd get out of it, John Kaminsky, I called you out last week. Thank you for getting a sack. That was great to see. Much needed after not having one since early in the season.
It was refreshing.
But yeah, very refreshing. But one thing that caught my attention after the game, Kaminsky said, I feel like we kind of lost our swagger and confidence on defense. Boy, we got to get that back. We need Deuce. We need Deuce in the worst way.
Yeah.
I think he's our vocal leader. I know he ain't coming back this week, but I feel like he'll help us get our swagger back. But until that time, boys, come on. We need someone to step up.
Yeah, we got to hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is going to add that spark to the secondary that we're looking for. But I got some question marks on what we're doing in the
Yeah,
secondary too.
the game plan.
We're talking about Brian Branch has been one of our premier rookie defenders.
Preach.
Great nickel corner for us this entire year, and the guy only plays 34 out of the 71 snaps.
I don't get it.
And they're saying it's based off of the fact that he can't play multiple positions, but the entire year he's been basically the most versatile guy in our secondary and making plays and having an impact regardless of what spot he's playing at.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn didn't say he can't play multiple positions. He said he wanted him to focus on one position and wanted him to focus on nickel. If the guy can play multiple positions, let the guy play multiple positions. He's a gamer. He's a gamer, and we need him out there. Don't sit him because he can play multiple positions and you think in your head that he needs to focus on one position. No, we want the best players that give us the best chance to win out on the field. So I have some questions for our defensive strategy. Another thing I don't understand is I thought Tracy Walker's been doing a great job filling in for Deuce. And then we sit him, and then we play Melifanu, who I did think had a good game, but
solid.
But I thought he had a solid game. But just to completely sit Tracy Walker, I don't understand that move either. It's like I don't understand some of the decisions that have been made on the defensive ball.
Yeah, I don't know how Branch is the odd guy out or Tracy's the odd guy out when we're talking about having Jerry Jacobs in the secondary. I don't like to personally attack players.
Me neither.
But the dude has just been played awful.
Dismal.
In the last couple of games. Like letting DJ Moore get over the top on a 4th down and 13 there?
Well, let's back up. 4th down and 13 because I guess intentional grounding when the guy's in the pocket and throws it at his offensive line's feet, who's not an eligible receiver, is now not intentional grounding because I guess if the quarterback's getting touched, that can create the quarterback to throw the ball differently. Well, yeah, it's football. It's football. Like that's what happens. So after that play, instead of it being 4th and 27, it's 4th and 13. Then Hutch jumps offside, so they have a free play anyways. And then what do you know? Jacobs gets blown by yet again. I mean, the only people they are targeting is Jerry Jacobs, and they're going after him hard and heavy. And I read a report today. We're sticking with him. Can we please make a change? Put Gilmore in. He had a great preseason. He made some good plays. Put Gilmore in. Give him a shot. What do we have to lose?
I think Jacobs, when he plays at the top level, is solid. But you make a good point here. I mean, it's a situation where I have question marks for what we're doing on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
We're not putting the best players out there. And it's leading to us getting beat by subpar teams like Chicago. Chicago is not a great offensive team.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
They made us look bad this weekend. And I think part of it, too, was the pass rush was there a little bit. Hutch was getting there a little bit, but they weren't staying in their lanes.
No.
And if you're not staying in your lanes, these mobile quarterbacks are going to escape, and they're going to continue to make plays against you. We just cannot continue to have that happen because every mobile quarterback we've seen right now is completely shredding our defense.
Yeah, just shredding our defense. And Chicago, I don't even think they ran the ball very good against us.
At all?
It's besides Fields, you know. Fields ran the ball on us just like every other mobile quarterbacks ran the ball on us. But, I mean, we know they're passing, or we gotta keep an eye on Fields, and he still tore us up. It's just we got to get it figured out on the defensive side of the ball. But that starts. We're not putting our defense in the greatest positions either. Our offense isn't. So
continues to turn over the ball.
Yeah, continues to turn over the ball. I have some questionable play calling decisions. Who's up top telling Dan Campbell to challenge plays? Whoever that guy is needs to be fired. It was clearly a catch. This is 3 times this year this has happened now, and we're challenging calls that are very clear non-challengeable calls that we're going to lose. He's 0 for 3 this year on challenges. So whoever is up there, let's make a change like we made a change last year when we fired our who'd we fire and then we started to go on a roll last year? Was it our safety coach?
Yeah.
Something needs to change.
Yeah.
We need to fire, get some people rowdy, make a little change, I think, because right now it ain't working.
No, it's not. And one of the biggest problems too is we talk about it, the turnover problem that we're having on the offensive side of the ball is leading to this defense having to carry the Lions, and they are not ready to do that.
No.
And the other problem with this is the Lions aren't forcing any turnovers.
Yeah.
So if we're losing the turnover battle week in and week out, that puts us in a bad spot right now with the way we're playing offensively and the way this defense is banged up and trying to figure it out.
Yeah, no, you said it 100% right. We are not creating turnovers in any stretch of the imagination. So we gotta win the turnover battle. If we win the turnover battle and if we take care of the football, good things are gonna happen and we're gonna get the wins like we were getting. But if we do the opposite of that, it's gonna be how it's been the past 4 weeks. We shouldn't even have won Chicago the first time. We got lucky. We made a huge comeback. Very fortunate there, and it's just kind of snowballed.
Yeah, it's been relentless. You're right. I mean, it's a situation where I don't really know what's going on with the offense either. We were talking about this offense early on in the year being one of the elite groups in the NFL, and they have completely fallen off a cliff. Like, they need to figure it out. That will help the defense, because if defense only has to hold teams to under 30, we're going to be in good shape. But right now, that is not the case.
No, everyone wants to give, Ben Johnson, he's going to be the next hot candidate. He's, for a head coaching job. And I don't think him or Aaron Glenn have done a great job on either side of the ball. Offensively,
last couple weeks, for sure.
No. So let's pump the brakes on him being this mastermind, because we're not doing what we should be doing. The targets, the plays, we got to figure it out on both sides of the ball. I hope we come back. I hope MCDC has challenged everyone, and I hope we get the best out of everyone, because we sure as hell need it.
Yeah, we got to get that spark back.
Yeah,
it's been tough here the last couple weeks. They got to get back on track if we're going to make a push for this playoffs and be actually competitive in it. And hopefully that starts this week. I mean, we have Denver Broncos coming to town on Saturday night.
Prime time, baby.
Trey Lions are favored by 4.5 here. The over-under set at 47.5. We're stepping into this game, and I got to look at the key players on our side here.
Who do you got?
I think Goff is going to have to play well.
He
can't turn over the ball. Denver lives off this defense forcing turnovers, putting their offense in a good spot to succeed. And I think Anzalone, coming back last week, he had a pretty good impact for us. I think he cleans it up this week. I think they shut down that running attack for Denver, and hopefully we can hold up on the outside in order to put ourselves in a spot to win here.
Who do you have playing as a key player for the Broncos side of the ball?
Oh, it's got to be Patrick Surtain, man. The guy's one of the best corners in the league, and they're going to put him right on Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
So this could be a circumstance where St. Brown isn't a huge part of the offense this week, and it might have to fall more on a Jameson Williams. It might have to fall more on a Josh Reynolds. Some of these other guys, might have to be making the plays in the passing attack. I'm hoping we can run the ball, because that would be very helpful for us this weekend.
Yeah, running the ball would be extremely helpful for us. So we'll see. You'll see what happens. The key players I got for going into this week. So for the Lions, I got Hutch. I think he's going to have a big bounce back week after a subpar week. He jumped on offsides there, even though it should have been intentional grounding the play before. That's neither here nor there. It was a new play. He said he had one of the worst games of his career, so I think he's going to be rip-roaring and ready to go. I think he's going to have a few sacks, get after Russell, so that's a player to watch out for.
Okay.
And then, as you mentioned, Amon-Ra St. Brown, let's see what he can do against Surtain, as he's one of the best corners. We got one of the best wide receivers.
So matchup of the week.
Of the week, yeah. So that's going to be interesting. But like you said, if they, double St. Brown with Surtain and, someone else, it's going to open up the door. So let's get JMO some more targets. Let's incorporate Donovan Peoples-Jones a bit more like we did last week. Let's get Khalif Raymond in there. We got players. So let's see what we can do there. On the Denver side of the ball, key players, I got Russell Wilson.
Playing great lately.
Playing great. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's everything you look for in the intangibles with a quarterback. He's mobile. We struggle with mobile quarterbacks, not as mobile as he once was. But and then on the outside, he has Jerry Jeudy, speedster.
Great route runner.
Hopefully we don't put Jerry Jacobs on him. Hopefully,
Or Jacobs figures it out.
or
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah. Hopefully Sutton's on him most of the night, but yeah, those are two guys I think we got to look out for, my man.
Yeah, I think you're right. On the outside, they got Cortland Sutton, they got Jerry Jeudy, they got some guys on that outside that could cause us some serious problems. If we don't clean it up in the secondary, we could be in for another loss here that we just cannot have.
Yeah, because our defense has done great against the run this year. We've struggled with mobile quarterbacks and then mobile quarterbacks who are great at throwing too. So I don't have any qualms with us stopping the run. We got to figure it out with our secondary, and then we got to bring some more pressure up front. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, really have to clean it up. Can't lose the turnover battle.
Yep.
But what are you thinking for your prediction this week, Speed?
Prediction. I got the Lions squeaking this one out. Very close, 28-26. Yes, it's an odd score, but some odd things have been going on lately. So I think the Lions win this 28-26 prime time in the Motor City.
Okay, I like that prediction. A little weird score there.
Yeah.
With the 26.
Yep.
I think, and that goes over, the over-under.
Yep.
Lions don't cover there if we're looking at the betting lines.
Yeah.
Again, we do not condone gambling on this podcast. But
especially in your own facility.
Please bet responsibly.
Yes.
On my side of things, man, I'm thinking the Lions are going to pull it out too. I think they get back on track. I think this is a brawl, though. I think Denver's going to come in here. They really need the win, like I was mentioning. We need the win. I think we squeak it out, maybe with the last-second field goal, 27-24.
I like it. I mean, this game is really gonna show our true colors. Can we bounce back from losing to a subpar team, divisional game that we all needed? We knew that we needed to win. So this is gonna end. MCDC going against his old mentor and Sean Payton. I mean, this is big. This is big time. So if we can get back on track here, I have the utmost confidence. I just need to see it. The main guy who you said was your key player, I need to see it from is Goff, because it all starts and ends with him, because he's putting us in bad positions on the offensive side of the ball, and then that translates to the defense side of the ball, put in bad positions. So if Goff has a good game and takes care of the ball and does what he needs to do, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think, just be a game manager.
Yeah.
Don't turn over the ball. Let the running attack take you to the promised land. I think that's what we got to look for this weekend. On the positive side of things, when we're looking at the playoff picture,
yeah. What do
Lions win this weekend. With the Lions win and the Seahawks lost to the Eagles, we're in. We're into the playoffs. Wild card or division winner, we don't know yet.
And that could very well happen with the way the Eagles have been playing.
Very much so. Eagles are a good team. And then the other way that we get in this weekend is Lions win and the Rams lose to Washington. I don't know if that's more likely. It doesn't feel like it's more likely, but that's two options on how we kind of clinch our playoff berth this weekend.
Hey, it's the NFL. Anything can happen, as we know from last week.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so, I mean, that's all we have for this episode of Sports Flow with BK and Speaks. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you get this W, and thanks so much.
Yeah, we'll see you next week to recap that Minnesota Vikings big-time matchup that we got coming up.
Divisional rival.
We'll be talking about that a little bit and recapping this Broncos game. But, yeah, that Minnesota game's coming up here are going to be massive.
Huge.
The division implications. But thanks for joining us. Take care.
Woo!